host of the Gridiron.
All right. Welcome to the Gridiron, baby. If you can give this video a thumbs up and maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose? It's totally free of charge. But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel out, description box below, the very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So once again, if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. And then finally, just underneath that, there's another link. Takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,600 members in the group. It is doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing and if I got internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. All right. Well, it's the nice thing is it's always got something kind of like going on, right? I mean, we're about a month away from the draft. Now that there's still free agents out there. Obviously, there always will be, even up to the time that the season starts. There's going to be free agents out there. But I mean, the big, huge initial wave, kind of starting to subside and all that. There's still some guys out there. We're going to talk about one of them a little later of our program here. But now, of course, you got, the pro days, right? That's, as I said, it's the NFL sets this stuff up really well. I mean, because there's always something going on. Always something going on. There is I think it's like a 5-week period. I think it's from June 10th to whatever it winds up being, July 21st or 20th or something like that, where there's it's like ghost town, right? Everybody's gone. Everybody's having their final vacations, hanging out with the family and stuff like that and everything before the long season ahead, right? Especially for the coaches. You got the 35-hour days, you got to really love this stuff. I mean, go to bed at midnight, get up at 3 o'clock in the morning so you can get in at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, just stay there for 18, 19, 25 hours. You got to really, really love what you're doing there, But one thing we were kind of, I saw today, one thing, I'm not sure, exactly if Coach Prime was talking about this, meaning the lesser of two evils, I guess, or whatever it might wind up being. So, kind of saying, I got a couple articles to read. It pretty much kind of both say it pretty much like about the same thing, but is it the lesser of two evils? Meaning, like, he kind of hopes that he doesn't go to Shedeur doesn't go to Cleveland. Maybe I'm not exactly sure. Let's see. What is the let's see, the 2025 NFL draft order? Now, obviously, there's a good chance, right? The Ward's just here, possibility. Ward's going number 1, maybe to the Titans. We'll have to wait and see, right? But then you got the Patriots. Well, they don't need a quarterback, right? So you get the Jaguars. They don't need a quarterback. And you got the Raiders. Well, they do need a quarterback, though. So, chances are, if Shedeur were to get past the Giants, right? Hold on. Wait. Okay, good. Yeah, if you would get past the Giants, the next team, unless obviously somebody were to trade up, right? Trade up with the Patriots or the Jaguars to jump the Raiders, right? if everybody's going to let the board fall, as it may, with the teams, no trades or nothing like that, you can see the next team possibly taking Shedeur would be the Raiders. Now, I'm not so sure if he wants them to go to the Jets. I don't know, but I could see, what he may not want, what he might not mind Shedeur going to the Raiders. But so I'm not sure exactly what he was talking about. He didn't kind of elaborate on it at all or anything like that. Meaning, let's hope it's New York. Let's not hope he doesn't go to Cleveland. So maybe that's what he meant. We don't know, but now also, you also heard too, which is kind of interesting, right? Of course, once again, this is all stuff that people make up. A lot of it, so it's like idiots like me can go and read their articles and, oh my God, really? Well, but there was one of the things that I'd seen within the past, I guess, month or two or whatever it was that, maybe like Shedeur were to come to New York, right? And if Dable were to get fired after the season's over with, who possibly might be the Giants' next head coach? Coach Prime, right? That was one of the things I seen floating around out there. Deion Sanders wants the Giants to draft Shedeur. Let's hope it's New York. Deion Sanders knows which team he wants to draft Shedeur. The Colorado head coach was asked at the ProMat conference which team he thinks will draft Shedeur in the 2025 NFL draft on Monday. Instead, Sanders shared the team that he's wishing will draft his quarterback's son. Let's hope it's New York, Sanders said, presumably meaning the Giants. I couldn't possibly think of anybody wanting to get drafted by the Jets, honestly. Not saying the Giants are, setting the world on fire of late and all of that. But my goodness, the Jets. There's been a couple of times, whatever, since after they won the Super Bowl in January, I think it was 12th, 1969. So after the 68 season, there's been a couple of times since the 68 season. Now we're getting close to almost freaking 60 years. Where it might be cool to go to the Jets. Okay. Obviously one of those times was just a few years there where in the late 90s where Coach Parcells was there, so it was a couple times where it was cool to go to New York to be a Jet. But of late, that's just a straight up dumpster fire. Right. Let's see. The Giants are one of the more logical fits for Sanders ahead of the draft. They hold the number 3 overall pick and are still searching for a quarterback. While they did add Jameis Winston, right, in free agency, the Giants are still in the running for Aaron Rodgers, and it's believed that they'll draft a quarterback this spring. Fox's Sports Ralph Vacchiano previously reported. Well, if they bring in Rodgers, if they got Jameis Winston, there's no way they can take. I'd be shocked if they took Sanders. I could see like a Milroe, maybe in the second round, if he makes it that far. I couldn't possibly see them. How could you? Tommy Chicken Cutler Parmesan aside, how can you bring in Winston, right? Who would then become like a third string quarterback, bring in Aaron Rodgers and then have, heir apparent on the sideline. So the first time Aaron Rodgers throws an incomplete pass, the crowd's like, we want Sanders, we want Sanders. I couldn't. So I could see if you were to bring Rodgers in, right? You'd have somebody underneath him, obviously, but on the sideline, not ready to rock and roll, the first time that, something goes wrong. So if they were to bring in Rodgers, I'd have a hard time seeing them drafting Sanders at 3. Sanders has been linked to the Giants for quite some time. Giants general manager Joe Schoen was notably present for multiple Colorado games this past season while the two sides met at the East-West Shrine Bowl in late January. Schoen later complimented Sanders, telling reporters in February that the quarterback is a great kid with a really good personality. It's a little bit cliche, but he checks all the boxes of a player with a dad that is a football coach and the passion that he approaches the game with. Schoen said, "It was good getting to meet him. He's had a really good career at Colorado and obviously looking forward to getting to knowing all those guys and the rest of the process." As the connection between the Giants and Sanders seems obvious, several mock drafts have the Giants selecting him with the 3rd overall pick. I mean, there's several mock drafts. There's 342 trillion mock drafts out there. And not only are there 342 trillion mock drafts, but each guy, Mel Kiper will have 15 different mock drafts. So-and-so will have another 15 mock. I don't really pay much attention to mock drafts. When I do pay attention to the mock drafts, okay, will be like a day or two before the draft, when all the pro days are out, right? When all the dust settles and people hear things and this, that, and all that, that's when I pay attention. That's when I might pay more attention to the Mel Kiper draft or Bucky Brooks's draft or this or that, whatever. You know what I mean? That's when I pay attention to maybe the mock draft. I don't pay attention to them. Because there's a mock draft for the 2026 draft. If you type in mock draft, then the Giants are taking like a punter in the first round. I mean, who gets really? Because they're not right. Who cares? So the Sanders-Giants relationship is strong. The Giants flew out to Colorado several times dating back to the fall to scout Sanders and to get to know him at a deeper level. Not every draft prognosticator thinks that the Sanders will end up in the Big Apple, though. Fox Sports' Henry McKenna wondered how far Sanders might fall in the 2025 NFL draft, sharing a scenario where the Giants could pass on him. If not Cleveland, will Sanders go number 3 overall to the Giants? They might match best, but there's the issue of timeline. Oh boy. With Sanders' development track potentially taking more time than Brian Daboll can afford before he gets fired. So New York might not work, McKenna wrote. Of course, Sanders could also be drafted before the Giants are on the clock. The Tennessee Titans and the Cleveland Browns, who hold the first 2 picks in the draft, respectively, are both in need of quarterbacks, too. The majority of mock drafts have the Titans selecting Cam Ward, number 1, while some have the Browns nabbing Sanders in that scenario at number 2. There's also the off chance that Sanders meant the New York Jets. I couldn't possibly in a million years see that in his comment on Monday. Unlike their crosstown rival, the Jets aren't in desperate need of a quarterback as they signed Justin Fields. Well, if Justin Fields don't work out, they'll be in desperate need of a quarterback. They signed Justin Fields to a 2-year deal earlier in March with the plan to start him in 2025, but their long-term future at quarterback is still unsettled. If the Jets want Sanders, they might have to trade up as they hold the 7th pick in the draft. So I couldn't possibly, I couldn't. Anybody wanting to come to play for the Jets. I mean, as far, the dumpster fire that the Jets are. Another one article here. For months, it has seemed that the Giants and Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders were meant for each other. The son of Deion Sanders, no prospect can claim to be as experienced in the spotlight. The team has spent extensive time and around the program to get a closer look at the passer, and it remains entirely possible that he is general manager Joe Schoen's preference under center. Now, the thing is, is that you don't know. One of these things, you just don't know, right? How much time does Schoen and Daboll have? You don't know. if they win 6 games and go 6-11, that's better than what they did the year. You know what I mean? Will they get another season with Shedeur Sanders? Right? If they go 8, if they win 8 or 9 games, well, they might be afforded another season and they have Shedeur. But if the tires fall off and everything just goes to heck, right? Like it did last season, right? They drafted Shedeur. They may not be around. So now it's the same kind of things what happened with Dable and Shane when they came in. It's like, all right, well, oh, by the way, Daniel Jones is your quarterback. So you have a new regime come in here, right? Dable and Shane will be gone. And then it's like, okay, all right, Mr. GM, congratulations. Congratulations. You're the new GM of the New York Football Giants. Congratulations. Oh, by the way, Shedeur Sanders is your quarterback. You know what I mean? So that might scare some guys away, right? So you don't know. I mean, if you get a coach, GM, whatever coming in, and the very first year they come in, they draft a quarterback. Because I mean, there's almost, especially with the way Mara is, it's almost impossible, for the Giants anyway, right? For a coach to come in, and GM to come in 1 year get fired right then and there. Okay. Usually they'll get at least 2 seasons, right? So if the very first season a coach and GM come in and they draft their quarterback that season, well, then they have at least 2 years, right, to work something out with them. However, 2 quarterback needy teams ahead of the Giants, right? You got the Titans, seem to be committed to Cam Ward, but the Browns faced a daunting choice of taking a blue chip prospect over a passing prospect with lesser pedigree and a more direct impact on the team's success. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's same thing with the Giants, right? I mean, Cam Ward goes number 1. Right? I don't blame. I can't blame the Titans at all, right? But that's what the Giants are going to be faced with. Do you take Hunter? You take Carter? Or you take Sanders? I mean, because guaranteed, right? I mean, you look, there's 4 guys. There's guaranteed to be 2 of them will be there for the Giants. Now, the thing is, quite possibly, Ward might be gone. All right, so between Hunter, Sanders, and Carter, guaranteed there's going to be 2 of them there for the Giants. And if one of them is Sanders and the other one's Hunter, if one of them Sanders and the other one's Carter, the thing is with Hunter or Carter, they're almost like plug and play players. I mean, the thing is with Carter, I mean, if Bowen can't find something for him, you find another job for Bowen outside of the organization. Yeah, I think Chuck E. Cheese is hired. You can go mop up their bathrooms, at 14 cents an hour, whatever. Because if you can't, you know what I mean? Or Hunter. I mean, right? You find someplace for Hunter. These guys are impact players that plug and play day one, boom. Right? New York hangs in the balance and is hedging its April bet with a March signing, bringing in Jameis Winston to elevate the floor of the quarterback room and to be an option to start if no other veteran or early round prospect is acquired. Now, as I said, you just don't know what the Giants are thinking of Shedeur. On Monday, social media added to the speculation that Sanders and the Giants could be a match, as Deion revealed his preferred landing spot for his son. Let's hope it's New York, Sanders said on Monday, while speaking at the ProMat conference in Chicago. It's worth noting that without video or a second account, Sanders' statement remains unconfirmed. So, more than anything else, Sanders' comment may be the most direct update fans have received on the Shedeur stock, despite the rumors that Coach Prime would tell teams not to draft his son. He's been rather quiet when it comes to publicly discussing teams. If he's willing to slight the Titans and Browns, it might be because he knows it won't matter. with Ward penciled in at number 1. Cleveland pivoting off of Sanders means New York at number 3 is the earliest Shedeur can come off the board anyway. He can endear Sanders to the Giants fans without the risk of hurting his stock. And if New York picks the top prospect, the Browns do not either Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. He can fall back on wanting his son to go as high as possible, which is true. Yeah, it's absolutely true. So, there you go. If Sanders, in fact, is the next quarterback for New York, he'll bring a point guard play style to the NFL. He's accurate, poised, and able to avoid turnovers. Question about his ability to mitigate pressure and truly elevate a mediocre supporting cast will persist until he proves otherwise. But the Giants seem well positioned to start him with reasonable success in year 1. So we're gonna have to wait and see. Now, there's a lot of good stuff being said about Sanders, but he did some remarkable things at Colorado. But one of the things was he had a top 2, top 3, top 4 guy to throw the ball to, right? But he's a pocket passer, right? I mean, he'll take off occasionally and get you the first down. He's not a Lamar Jackson, right? He's not a Josh Allen where he's going to run people over, right? But he's a pocket passer. The Giants are going to need to protect the guy, right? Also helps if he has some weapons. Now, obviously, we got Malik Neighbors. Now, I love me Wandale. I love me Darius Slayton. Tracy, cool, right? But I mean, I'm not shaking in my boots here. You know what I'm saying? Right? The Giants defense can iron out some wrinkles, so the quarterback doesn't always have to be the overall there. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Absolutely. Sure. I'm kind of hoping they can get themselves another. We'll talk about another weapon. This is one of those articles that I saw. Right, this is the second time it's coming around. Right, but I mean, I'd love to see the Giants get like another weapon. I mean, you look at the Eagles. Now you look at the Eagles, but I try not to look at the Eagles because once again, the Eagles there is no salary cap in Philadelphia. It's the Philadelphia void years, right? They just bring in these players. They sign into contracts and they just void year. They push all the money down the end of the road. So you're like, oh my God, the Eagles are just unbelievable. Greatest team of all time. No. Other teams could do it. The other teams don't want to do it because they don't want to screw up their salary cap for years to come. Right. So that's why a lot of other teams don't do that. But I'm saying, but if you just look at the Eagles, right? You got Saquon, you got Devontae Smith. I mean, Goddard, fine tight end as well. But then you got Brown. I mean, it's like, holy crap, right? You got a great offensive line, and Hurts is a very good quarterback, right? So, but I mean, you look at we got Tracy who can take it to the house. We've seen that, okay? But he's not Saquon Barkley. We got Malik Neighbors, right? We got Wandale Robinson, okay? He averaged 7.9 yards of reception last year, okay? Had a lot of receptions and all, but we need another weapon, And I said, then we need to also protect Shedeur. So, once again, all this stuff, all this speculation, it doesn't mean really much of anything. What does Shane and Dable think? Because ultimately, it's going to pretty much their job's going to ride on it. Right, so we'll have to wait and see. But Coach Prime saying he would like for his son to come to New York. Now, once again, I said, I would think it's the Giants because I think the Giants spent more time spending time with Shedeur than the Jets did, but I couldn't possibly have anybody actually. Let's hope he goes to the Jets. I mean, I don't know if anybody would actually even say that. I mean, just the way that the dumpster fire, not that the Giants are any better, but I mean, the Jets have been almost a dumpster fire since after the '68 season. So we're almost 60 years and counting.